Alright guys, HatchGrabbick again today. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Lots of controversy over the last couple of days about Gentleman's Agreement, and another one has seemingly been added into the mix as well last night. The knife, the gut knife, and the karambit, apparently according to the pros, is going to be banned for the upcoming season. It's either too strong in close quarter situations, it allows players to move too quickly. Is this the pros just going too far? Yet again, already barely a week into the game, we have loads of items on the Gentleman's Agreemented list. Is this a fair GA? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into. Firstly, this is pretty wild as well from Shotzi. You guys have probably seen this one before. I think maybe Draza used this as well. But yeah, have a look at this. Skid Row, get on the ledge here. Kind of funny. Scrappy comes out to try and follow him. And yeah, Scrap was not ready for this one, right? So he sees him kill his teammate. Scrap dives out the window. And then, yeah, that's just what happens when you're up against Spotsy on the other side. Now, there's been lots of questions right now in the game about the way the maps are presently working, and especially the spawn system. Search and Destroy is okay. No problems there. Dead Silent is absolutely beautiful. Hardpoint, though, is not great right now. I played like a series of 8s yesterday, and it was, yeah, I don't know, not the best experience all the time. It was good fun, to be honest, compared to like the last couple of COD games, but definitely the spawns and the hardpoint locations need a bit of work. And as Slasher says, the technology must just not be there for a normal COD spawn system. This is the thing with the fact that there's a new game every single year, is like every year the spawns are problematic and they take time to solve, if they even get solved at all. Let's be honest here, Thanksgiving's coming up, it's holiday season, the season starts on December the 8th, I think we're going to be playing with a questionable spawn system when this game launches for the CDL side. And let's just say Control, I mean, yeah, there isn't really much to say on Control. There's some maps that might be viable, the spawns on many of them are just completely wrong. So let's say Subbase, it's actually just offense favored because defense has to break into the point. It's the completely wrong way round. And that's even assuming that once you do get in, then the actual respawns also make sense, which probably isn't the case. So yeah, they might need to get Slasher in to fix this stuff, to be honest. And as Bean says, say it every year, but somehow they've made the spawns worse. So there's so many occasions, even Invasion, which makes some sense. The amount of times I was spawning up and someone was like looking at me, or they'd spawned in the same place on the same street, I just don't understand what's going on. But it's always got to change because, yeah, Respawn ain't looking particularly good at the moment. But Gentleman's Agreements, right? We talked about yesterday the red dot GA. So all ARs will be mandated to use a red dot sight. Seems the main reason for this, and I think this is a good change in general, is just so it means that you can have less attachments on it. If you're forced to use a red dot, you have to use only 4 extra attachments rather than 5. So I think that's the intention here, as you know, because there was initially rumors that maybe they'd done this because of ammunition types, but then they were like, well, if that was an issue, we would just GA those instead, which is probably true. And so as, well, Scrap goes on to say, no common sense. Maybe if we got games that work properly, there'll be no need for GAs. Everyone just thinks we're out here GAing stuff, you know, for the hell of it. And basically says, yeah, we're GAing it, so you have to run and a red dot so you can't stack your gun. So a GA, a gentleman's agreement, when the pros decide for the betterment of the game that something that is not banned in the official rule set should be banned. And already there are quite a few things getting added on, especially the knife. So this is, well, was being voted on yesterday. Apparently it's basically now a done deal. Maybe pros will go back on this, but usually what happens is a couple of pros basically suggest it in the GA group chat that the pros have, and then they get people to vote on it, and more than likely things get gone because most people get annoyed by it and therefore it's out. Now, what do you guys think about the knife getting banned? It's the primary thing to use at the moment is you'll use an AR, let's say the MCW, and then your secondary will not be a pistol, it will just be the knife. Mainly the karambit is what's used because it swipes faster, it might have a faster, I think they definitely have faster movement speeds than the pistols. I don't know if the karambit is faster than like the gut knife or whether the other knife is that you can use as well, but they're meant to be slightly different. The karambit swipes faster, the gut knife has more of a lunge on it, stuff like that. Pretty cool idea, but you know, apparently it's too strong. And we kind of see that in some parts. For players holding doors, I wish doors weren't a thing, but it is what it is, especially for a high time to kill game. There are occasions, and to be fair, yesterday we played, you know, some Skid Row first half point, and it was a viable strategy to just go in the first hardpoint, pull your knife out, and just run around knifing people. That was actually a viable strategy for, being effective. And maybe that's fine, but maybe that's not so fine, especially when it takes long to, to punch somebody, to actually kill them that way takes quite a while, and even to shoot them takes quite a while with 5 bullets to kill. Knife, you die immediately, and it swipes instantly. So it looks like this is probably a done deal, and it's chalked, it's over. The knife has been GA'd per multiple professional players, and we saw this clip earlier today, but this is one such example. I don't think it got GA'd because of Shotzzy. You guys might remember, was it back in Modern Warfare 2019, when, I forget, was it the Uzi or... No, it was the AUG, wasn't it? The AUG, I think. And they buffed it, I think. I'm pretty sure they buffed it. And Doug got like a 4-piece on Ramaza, and the pros saw him get the 4-piece and were like, oh my god, Doug's 4-piecing with this gun. It's got to go. It's time to hit the GA list, basically. And that's kind of what happened. So I don't think that... So Doug kind of got that GA'd in some respects. It was probably getting banned anyway, but that one clip from Doug pushed them over the edge on that particular GA. I don't think this clip from Shotzzy pushed it over the edge, but it's just one example, right? I mean, the fact that he can get these 2 kills so effortlessly in some respect, and they really, like by the time that they shoot him here, they're just both immediately dead. And it's like, for situations like this, especially if we want to have smokes in the game as well, and there's a general feeling right now that for hardpoints, we might need one player to have a smoke to actually allow things to be breakable. The smoke-knife combo is kind of powerful, and as a result, we're looking at the GA. So, as Toronto say, it makes sense now, right? So you see this and you think, all right, yeah, maybe I get it, why the knife needs to go. Is that fair, though? Is that reasonable? Does it make the game worse? I don't know. I don't think it's a massive problem in the sense that in kind of most COD games, you would just run a pistol anyway, and that's usually how it goes. But this is now the GA list. I'm pretty sure as well, like, all of the MW2 weapons are banned as well, which I think is the right way to do it. I hope that it's the same thing in ranked play, to be fair. Like, all the old school weapons from last year's game, the fact that they're back in this game, I don't know if they should be. They probably shouldn't, to be honest. And we do want some other weapons being used. I don't want to see the TAC and the Vaznev again, to be honest. So currently this is what we're seeing. Red Dot Sword must be used on the ARs. The Burst Rifle, the FR556, and the other Burst Rifles, they're both banned. We talked about the fact that they always tend to get banned. I know that Aches made a point on the flank yesterday that maybe if you just put certain attachments on to make them worse than they could be otherwise, they could be viable. And I think that's true. But I don't know if the pros will really go to the effort of doing that. And I just think a 4-round burst gun like the M8 was the way that you could actually properly balance these burst weapons. The Holger is kind of too OP, so that's bad at the moment. And now we've got the knife here as well. The SAE as well, you guys probably remember the SAE, especially the big drama during the Optic versus Minnesota Rocket series at the start of last season. That is very memorable indeed on that El Asilo control. That's currently GA'd. So these are things that might get reflected in the official rule set when it is officially released in, I'm guessing, a couple of weeks' time, as late as they can do it, really, so they know what maps and modes to play. But the knife added to the list, it seems, well, it's one of those things that if you told me coming into the game the knife's going to get GA'd, I'd say, come on, like, the pros have just gone too far this time, and, they kind of make the decisions. But as yet, there's no sniper rifle GA. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. It's still early days. Lots of practice right now going on in hardpoints mainly, and maybe they'll look to get rid of the snipers as well. In the current state of the game, I kind of get the knife GA, but at the same time, when you've got players banning the knife amongst themselves, when you've got players forcing a red dot to be used amongst themselves, you got to wonder what's next. And I'm sure that one of the things that next is not necessarily going to be to the community's best liking. Now, a couple of things on Scrappy here, actually, on the way the game is currently playing. This is pretty funny. He deleted this one, but, we saved it too quick. Why are you chalking my scrim oldie? So I'm guessing Toronto and Vegas were going to practice against each other. Then maybe that didn't happen for various reasons, and Scrappy wasn't so happy. He also mentioned, though, in some Twitch chat, that there's a rumor going around that they are looking to change a way, that they might be changing the hardpoint locations. As he says here, heard they're switching the hills 2 days before the season starts. Now, this was a big talking point back in MW19, when as soon as the game came out, it was in a terrible state, and the pros were told, oh yeah, guys, we're going to fix it. Don't worry. We're getting rid of squad spawns. We're going to do XYZ to the game. And that's why Aches and his Los Angeles Guerrillas team didn't even bother practicing. They were like, yep, the game's going to be drastically different in the middle of January when they bring the new patch update in. Of course, that patch update never arrived, but it's not implausible that Scrappy and the other pros could have heard of, and they have done in the past for other patch updates, that, oh yeah, there's a big patch update coming on this date, and it's going to change the rotations or whatever. And that's going to come December the 6th, let's say, 2 days before the season begins. Doesn't sound an unreasonable date for a big patch update to drop. And would you be surprised if Sejima did this? No. But then again, it does open a massive can of worms if we're talking about 2 days before the start of the season, after weeks of practice, the hardpoint locations change. They might be for the better, absolutely. But it's going to mean that the first day of matches, first couple of days, that first weekends, is anyone's game, you know, when everyone's learning the game again. Not like it hurts doing practice now. And maybe, as we've said with what Infinity Ward did a couple of years ago, that patch update never actually arrived. So I don't know whether this could be the same and they actually say, you know what, guys, I think we're okay. I think the hills are fine. But the hills in general do need some work. I actually think Skid Row hardpoint is pretty good, but that P2 is nigh on impossible to break the way it's currently set up, to be honest. Especially the tunnel. Like, you're just dead if you're trying to come through that tunnel. The only way to maybe make it work is to have a smoke. And I think that is potentially the solution, that if one player was allowed a smoke, you probably could actually get through that tunnel to try and get down to Skid Row P2. So maybe sometimes it's hardpoint locations that aren't great. Sometimes it's the way the spawns work. I know there has been talk as well about Subbase, because Subbase is a questionable map at the moment, and every hardpoint apart from the one like in the underground tunnel bit is almost impossible to hold. The game always goes to time at the moment, and as Scrappy says, let's just play Scrapyard, because there's no way it can be worse than Subbase, which may or may not be true, but definitely intrigue your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Just before we finish, I thought this was kind of crazy from Crimsix, actually. We know that he's got his beautiful, does he call it Miami Blue Porsche GT3 RS or whatever it is, and we know that FaZe have this like Porsche partnership thing going on, and he's been out there in Germany a little bit, but it seems like he's now an official Porsche like ambassador. As he says, I'm incredibly happy and excited to announce that I'll be continuing my adventures with Porsche. So yeah, that's really cool, and wishing the best, I guess, for Crew on this one going forwards. But very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Your grandma and mom have blue. Oh, I thought you had blue eyes. I'm not gonna lie. What? That's literally you. Bro, that's literally you and Porter combined. Oh my god. What in the world? That is insane. Oh my god. Oh,
just watching.
God. Did she know like words yet or not?
No, she's like 3 months, dude.
Dude.